the local maker group in Barrie.
Is that brick
Cool.
thing that you were sending?
Sorry, go ahead.
Yes.
I was just asking if that was the bricks.online or something.
Yeah, Bricksworks.
Bricksworks, that's it. Sorry.
Yeah, so I saw your post, but I didn't know what it was. There's so many little groups in Barrie, like the Code Ninja. There's lots of stuff. So I didn't like what do they do exactly?
Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of background. So back in the day, I used to go to the co-op working place. You may know it, Chris, the Creative Space.
Yeah, I think so.
They've kind of moved, and but back in
was that the one that was on Dunlop?
Yeah. So they
it was like right at the corner by like 5 points, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we used to meet there for Toastmasters, and I used to go there the odd time just to change the scenery. Anyways, every Tuesday night, this maker group would get together. They were called Simco Lab. And they were just a bunch of keeners. They would take apart, whatever, build their own projects, solder, 3D print, whatever they wanted. Like they would just tinker with whatever projects. They would actually try to tinker at home, and then if they got stuck, they would bring it into the group, and then they would all troubleshoot together. It was kind of a nice little relaxing club for them. Anywho, so they left and joined this whole Bricksworks, and they've been trying to find a permanent location for Barrie, and I think they did have something in the works just February last year before COVID hit, and then I think everything kind of went on pause for them. So I did
just like most things, yeah.
Just like
is it Josh?
Yeah, I think Josh can. I'll just make sure.
Hi, Josh.
Hello, Josh. How are you? Just verify. But anyways, so yes, they have a wide variety of things that they work on and cover. So yeah, I'm hoping that their main soldering guy, his name is Brian. He's given a few workshops in the past on how to do like basic soldering and working with Arduino and the whole 9 yards. And I thought, heck, he'd be a better speaker than my little beginner talk. So yes, he said he could prepare it. And I'm hoping he can sign in at 8 o'clock. He said he'd be a little bit late this evening, but so that's one speaker. You mentioned you had a friend, Emily?
Virginia, yeah.
What's her story?
So
I think you've met Virginia, by the way, Paul.
Did I?
Yeah.
She's come to North OT a couple times. So are you familiar with, like, you were in computer programmer, right, at Georgian?
Mm-hmm.
So you're familiar with like the change maker space?
Oh, yes.
Marco used to run that. So after Marco ended up leaving, Virginia was the one who ended up becoming the change maker space, kind of like, I don't know, room admin. I don't know what you want to call it.
Did she run? Yeah, did she run the ladies' code camp?
Yes, time? With Jenna.
Oh, she might have. Yeah, she might have done that once.
Okay.
Yeah, once.
Okay, that's amazing. So what would she want to talk about?
I don't know. Like, I just know like Virginia did a bunch of stuff. She just started a podcast. She does Makerspace. She did CSS Flexbox. She did animation. Last week, no, it was actually this Thursday. It was yesterday or last week. She did Arduino with the lights. She's just, I don't know. She's amazing.
Is she busy right now? Is she online?
Let me check.
It sounds like if she's doing podcasts now, she could probably just do a kind of a talk.
Yeah,
like
she's doing a podcast that's with the Henry Bernick Entrepreneurship Center.
I don't think she's
kind
online
of
at the moment.
revolving around, as far as I'm aware, like tech entrepreneurship. I think kind of focus in around like the Barrie area, and I think also just how things work in like this digital age. I mean, not like putting anything down on the podcast. It kind of seemed almost like an advertisement for like HBEC in a sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
What HVAC does.
But yeah,
Josh
it's basically
left.
Yeah, I noticed. So when he came in, his thing was flashing, but it wasn't like. I'm thinking he's maybe trying to figure out his microphone.
Okay. I don't know Josh personally. He might have been from this other channel, or that might have been Brian. Oh yeah, no, he is from that Brixig.
He's back.
Josh, can you hear us?
He is not in the thing anymore.
Hey Josh.
Oh, now he's back.
Can you hear us, Josh? You can chat in the chat room if you want. Hello. Okay, perfect. We have a human there. So Josh, you're from the maker. You're from the maker group. That's correct, right? I saw you in the Discord channel. Yes. Okay. Did you already meet up with the group at the creative space, or?
Me?
No, I'm talking to Josh.
Oh, Josh.
Oh, okay. So Josh, you're new to the group? We may be talking to an AI. I don't know.
I'm muted for half a second there. Josh, you're welcome to talk if you want.
Yeah. I'm kind of new, but I've been to a meeting. All right, cool. Okay.
He's fixing his mic.
Fix his mic, okay.
Okay. All right. We'll keep chatting. Hopefully Brian can join us in a little bit. So yeah, okay. So Virginia, she mostly talks about HBEC. Am I saying that correctly?
Yep.
Yeah.
And she would probably be open to maybe doing a talk. Did you already ask her, or?
No, not yet. I didn't know what you want to do for the next meeting. So I rather know like what you want to do, then I can like talk to her and be like, hey, can you do this, or what are you willing to do? Or is she like, is she busy or something like that if we have a date?
Yeah, what I'm hoping is the last Friday of every month until we get bored, or until Chris takes over with his North OT on another date. But yeah, I was thinking for this meeting we could focus on kind of hardware and like just basics. Like nitty.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Virginia is
wanting
online. Do you want me to ask her to join, to talk to her?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, if she's willing, that'd be.
I'm just going to
Paul,
put myself
how are you wanting
mute.
to tie it into the like freeCodeCamp like curriculum? If we're kind of focusing on the hardware.
Yeah, I was and I didn't have time to circle around, but I was hoping that maybe there was because they added a ton of Python challenges to the mix.
Okay.
Or there was a ton of, there's like thousands of challenges in the interview portion. So I was wondering if we could, because I know with some of these Arduino simulators, you can get like blinking lights or something, or you can get LEDs going. So I'm wondering if we could somehow tie in an Arduino simulator with a simple coding challenge and see if we could work around that, or I don't know. I'm not married to freeCodeCamp. It's got a nice name. It's got a nice hook. But if we're
it's also got clout.
It's got clout. But I really like Quincy, the founder, and so if we're not, because we're supposed to be a study group, but if we're venturing off the curriculum, then I have no idea, no problem if we rebrand ourselves or what the case may be. But yeah, if we can tie it back to a simple coding challenge in the meeting at some point. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that there's probably ways that you could tie in like an intro with like blinking lights through Arduino, probably with the curriculum. My experience with Arduino in the past is it wasn't Python. It was kind of more like
Java.
As far as I'm aware, it was more like Was it Java like? I know that they kind of
Yeah.
use their own. It's been quite some time.
I think Arduino is Java. Like, that's what my instructor is telling me to do when I do
C++.
code. Yeah.
It's kind of like a basic version of C++.
I've done some Arduino. Is my mic working?
So I'm sure that there's something that you could tie in, but I think you can use other languages on the Arduino besides C and C++. If not, you could always go more with. Nope, we heard you for a second there, Josh.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Yep. But we could even do something that's maybe more with like the Raspberry Pi. I think it's more common to be using like Python on a Raspberry Pi.
Okay.
This
is
could
where
even go with like JavaScript as well. I've had experience using Node on Python as well, or sorry, Node on a Raspberry Pi.
Oh wow, because this is kind of where my education, this whole stuff starts. Is that Raspberry is like a mini computer, and then Arduino is like a mini microcontroller, right?
Yeah, Arduino kind of is more robotic stuff.
More
when
robotic.
I did it, we made sounds. We gave it buttons for like we could turn it into a controller. We made it into a little light thing.
Did they play with? Because it's actually kind of neat. Did they play with Circuit Python at all?
I'm not sure. I don't remember what we used for programming it.
Okay.
I did it about 2 years ago. So.
All right, because that was something I learned just with a few little beginner kits that I had. Is that yes, you can compile it with the C++ / kind of Java look, or you can use what's called Circuit Python, and I think it's made by Adafruit. And so, and I wish I was on my computer, not my sister's here. I could show you, but basically, it's almost like you put in Python right on the Arduino, and so then you can modify Python if you want. And so there's a single file that's called code.py, and then you modify that.
Gotcha.
Anyways, so I mean we have a lot of options here, but yeah, like I haven't really even got into soldering. So just a nice tutorial. I did find a few nice resources I want to share with everybody, but if we can get somebody just to do a once over, and must have tools, right? Because what should somebody have if they're just starting out? You need a
soldering iron.
You need a soldering iron, okay. But do you need like, I mean, there's like so many
you
toys.
could have like flux and all that other sort of stuff,
right?
So especially if you're wanting to like desolder something, or if you're trying to there's a bunch of different things that you can have. The other thing is I suppose it depends. Like if you're doing the Arduino with the idea of, hey, let's build something like physical, and then there's the idea of, hey, let's take something that's built and be able to build something using it, which is why you have those already soldered, like you just connect stuff to it like Lego, and that's obviously a lot more accessible to someone that's new, especially I think if you're doing this remotely. Like if it was in person, doing like a soldering lab would be pretty cool, because then it would be like, oh, hey, Paul, now it's your turn, come try this out. And you're like, okay, hopefully I don't screw it up.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But doing it over Zoom, it might be a little more difficult. Personally, my thought, but feel free to correct me, I think leaning more towards the software side makes more sense to me, given the medium in which we're using.
Gotcha. All right. Emily, thoughts?
I kind of like the idea. I just like learning in general, but I think it's a really cool idea. I just have one question. So you talk about the appliances. I'm not sure if I'm using the correct word here. Like the boards and everything. So for our meeting, should they be prepared with some kind of Arduino and breadboard and stuff like that?
So let me just see if I can. I was thinking because Chris kind of put this idea in my head. an online simulator.
The Tinkercad. Yeah, I use that too.
So is this a popular one? This was
I've used it.
okay. I mean, I haven't really played with it at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it compares to other things.
Okay.
I've just used it for modeling, so I don't actually know what else it can do.
I can, if you don't have, I can use mine if you want.
Yeah. All right. Show me.
Okay.
Because that would probably be the best, right? I mean, we can kind of go over an overview of a circuit with people. They can make their own circuits, but I don't know if Tinkercad is kind of the go-to.
Brian's
It
here.
seems fairly straightforward enough that it's, even if it's not necessarily the best, I
So
would
you
just say,
pull
like,
that
as long
here.
as it works, right?
So I can take the lead and put it here. If I have a ground,
Oh, okay.
for example, let me show that. I take the ground and I put it like
Ah, see, that would be
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
stuff like that. And then if you want to start, you just like press start simulation. And the code is here. So there's two ways of doing the
Sweet.
code. You can do it through blocks, like this, the setup lead high and low.
Oh,
I think
okay.
I've
They
done
almost
that
have
before.
what is that thing called?
You
Scratch?
can just
Yeah,
hard code
yeah,
it.
it reminds me of Scratch.
Yeah, I did Scratch in grade 9.
Yeah. So here
Okay.
you go.
That does look like C++ to me.
And it's my first time doing that ever.
Okay, we could definitely play around with this. Oh, we
Hi,
got Brian.
Brian.
Hey man, thanks for joining.
No problem. Sorry, I was just in a noisy spot and I was muted for a second, but I'm here and I saw you guys messing with an Arduino GUI.
Yes,
Yeah.
we were just discussing the best way to do, this new remote reality we're in.
Yeah.
As far as simulators go, are you familiar with Tinkercad at all, or do you think it would
yeah.
be
Yeah, for
suitable
sure.
enough for our purposes?
For doing what exactly? I'm used to it for doing simple 3D modeling for
Okay.
3D printing.
I think you can also play around with like what just Emily had there is you can play around with like putting components on a breadboard and then simulate and then play with the code behind the scenes.
Was that in Tinkercad?
Yeah. They've added new
Cool.
features, I think.
Awesome. I know that like the origins of fritzing, Arduino was fritzing, and there's a whole diagramming thing around that too. But that sounds. I'm going to log into Tinkercad right now. Take a look.
So I was wondering, and I know I pestered you a bunch of times, but you're pretty good at soldering, right?
Other people think I'm better than I think I am. So I don't know where
Okay.
where I land on how good I am, but I can
going-
solder things.
Okay,
Yes.
going by other people's reviews, do you think you could give an online workshop for beginners?
I already have done a soldering workshop at the Barrie Library.
But online though?
No, I did in person, but I have like material written up, is what I'm saying.
All right, perfect. Okay.
As far as like things around like what exactly are you doing with soldering, and like I don't know, like what age group are we looking at here?
The last age group was mostly adults.
Cool.
Yeah, we had a few people from the United States. We had one girl from Jamaica, I think.
Yeah.
Because
So
I'm just wondering, like, how complex do I get? Like, the whole idea of the solder has this plastic, kind of.
You know what?
Base.
We've kind of had this play it by ear and read the room.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Chris, he kind of led the talks last meeting, and he did a good job, just kind of going and kind of almost at a beginner level, and then kind of scaling it up throughout the meeting. And
right.
If people were able to grab nuggets, I know I sure did. I learned a few things. So yeah, I mean, Yeah, if you want to
my
start
whole
at
thing, I kind of just like I started basic, and then we kind of ended up flying through it a little bit faster than I thought. So from there, I just kind of kept adding to it. And in part, I think we had a couple of good questions that had come in while I was doing, because it was mostly more like a live demo. It wasn't really like any
With
kind of
Sandbox as
structured
well.
content. So we would have like a question that came in that would be like, oh, how do I do this? And, you know, that would end up taking like 15, 20 minutes as we kind of like work through it together as a group. So I think that was kind of, I mean, I say that was the best way to do it. It was also one time. So maybe I'm a little bit biased, but it seemed to be effective given, again, just like being through Zoom. I mean, there's only so much that you can do.
Cool.
Sorry, Emily, what did you say?
No, I was saying that we were introduced to Sandbox too.
Oh, yes. That was a game changer for us, definitely. Did you get a hold of Virginia at all by chance? Or?
Yeah, she just texted me and then she stopped, and then she just said she's not free tonight, but she'd be happy to come next time. So I tried to explain to her that it's not like her participating, it's her hosting. And yeah, I'm waiting on her response.
Okay. So as it stands, the agenda, we'll have Brian do some soldering talk because you already have some material, and then we can jump into maybe messing around with Tinkercad as a group. What I try to do is tie in the freeCodeCamp.org curriculum. So I was just talking to Chris about that. If we could find some kind of coding challenge on that website to tie into our little project. Leave that to me. I'll see if I can go through the curriculum and try to find a good project idea.
So like the end goal is to get people to the point where they could do a simple soldering project involving Arduinos, essentially.
Well, what do you think?
Well, I'm not sure how all this started. This is all new to me. Because I don't know what you guys have done in the past. You guys just kind of found me through the Bricks channel. So
yeah. So I think what we're hoping for is just to bring coders and anyone that's interested in kind of tinkering around and learning new stuff.
Yeah.
And so we did kind of ask the audience at the end of our last meeting. We said, what do you guys want to learn next? And a few people were like Arduino, and I was like, okay, we'll look into this. And so I do remember Simco Lab that you guys were really dialed in, and I mean, you guys were on top of everything. So I'm glad you guys are still active. So yeah, like we can start with just teaching them soldering, and then monkeying around with their own kits. And
yeah, to jump in, I think basically just kind of essentially bridging that gap between the software side of the Arduino and the physical side, just because if you want to buy some of those boards, they don't come pre-soldered. So just trying to get comfortable. Really, I think that's what happens a lot with the programming side as well, is sometimes people are worried about breaking something and just showing kind of how forgiving soldering can be. And I mean, I know it can be a little bit more less forgiving than say software where you can just delete a line and it's fixed, but trying to make people feel comfortable at being able to create stuff themselves.
Right.
Again, both at that physical with the hardware level and then the software as well.
Yeah, this is a thing about like all kind of maker disciplines in general. It's like, someone walks up to a 3D printer and like, I don't want to break it. Or they're like, in a woodworking shop and like, I don't want to kill myself or whatever. Like it's getting past that hump of.
Yeah, there was a comparison I heard recently, and it was talking about like a TV remote and how this person's parents had said, there's so many buttons on it, I don't know what they all do. But I think like a true maker is like, you see all those buttons and you press it, so you figure out what it does. Because you want to know what every single one of those button does and how it works in combinations, and just basically realizing that like it's a safe environment, especially as we're working on like a virtual Tinkercad. It's, feel free to break something. If you break it, like good on you. You can just restart it. It's not a big deal.
So I'm not sure if this is useful information, but one of the other workshops I did was an Arduino workshop at the Barrie Library, and I did a ultrasonic sensor with a servo that would like
Oh, yeah.
rotate and look for whatever's closest via the ultrasonic sensor. There was no soldering in it though. I just bought parts and kind of dead bugged it together. But
Well, yeah, if you want to do, what I'm hoping is you can do a soldering talk if you have that already.
Yeah.
And I did mention the Discord. If you could even talk about tools that we should have, like
like
beginners.
standard soldering tools or like circuit board soldering tools.
Like if I came to you and said, okay, I have X number of dollars, what are the next 10 things I need to purchase now? Could you give me that list easily, or?
Yep.
Okay.
And I could probably show you all of the tools.
Hell yeah, that'd be awesome. So yeah, that'd be great.
All behind me.
Yeah, if you did a soldering talk and then you showed the tools and why it's useful and how you use this thing, and then you wanted to jump right into your Arduino talk, I think that would be a good meeting.
Okay, so when is this happening?
I hope you're available this Friday. So this Friday at, what do we do? 7 o'clock?
So this would be the 26th, just so
26.
you know.
Is there anything I'm not? No, I don't think I have anything going on.
Yeah, you go.
All right, good. Okay.
Yeah.
It's usually pretty quick.
Also, for future reference, maybe let's not try to get people lined up the week before. Might be a good idea.
Yeah.
But I could probably whip something out. If you're gonna make me clean my room.
Yeah, man. Zoom background.
Appreciate
It's Zoom background solves all that.
Yeah, it's just.
I run
No,
on
no, just
Linux
point
and
it
Zoom
at a
background
clean
doesn't
area.
work on there. So no, but I'm saying I have to clean my room because the back part of my room is the the workshop desk thing where I'm
right.
gonna have to do all this stuff, and it's
Okay.
currently a pile of Python or a what do you call them, Raspberry Pis and my 3D printer and stuff all over it. So anyway, I needed an excuse to do that. So
Well, appreciate you.
no problem. Are
Especially.
you guys all in the Barrie area? I assume not.
I'm
Yes,
in
I am
Barrie.
not.
Oh, okay.
Who's not in Barrie?
Where are you now, Chris?
Chris said he wasn't.
I am closer to like Owen Sound. Like
Oh,
I'm
really?
about 30 minutes south of Owen Sound.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know Josh is in Barrie.
Yeah, you picked me up once for the one meeting I went to.
Yeah, I know where you live.
I used to live there. Yeah, I
It's
used
in
to
our
live
DM
like right by
somewhere.
the college.
Okay. So yeah, I can do some of that stuff.
Okay. I can post some more information in the, well, I don't know if they posted the Facebook group in the Discord, but I can make sure to share that, and I'll share our rough agenda that we talked this evening on our GitHub. I just use our
Okay.
GitHub as where we put our minutes and our agenda.
Yeah, sounds good.
But it sounds like you're all sorted and we're all on the same page, more or less. What I always say, or what I said the one time we had the meeting, is as long as we're having fun, right? So.
Mhm.
So
Well,
yeah,
this is
As long as they don't get lost, it's fun.
yeah, this stuff is right up my alley. Like, yeah,
perfect. Okay.
I like doing it, and I like telling other people how to do it. So
Awesome. Appreciate it.
That is one of the things about technology is you don't know what you need.
yeah,
Um,
that's true.
In almost any like maker type thing, it's like, what tool do I need? Like
Well, yeah,
wood carving.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
like, all right, I know what a chisel is. What else?
Well, I think the other thing is typically the people that are posting content around anything are typically experts in that, and they'll be like, oh, you need, or not that they usually say this, but you see their workshop and they have thousands upon thousands of dollars of tools, whereas you can get by with a lot of hand tools to do basic woodworking. And as most people say, like, you just buy the tools as you need it, and then you have it, and then you don't need to buy it.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't break.
Yeah, but if you buy cheap, and then if it breaks, you buy the expensive one because you use it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're gonna learn and break the thing while you're learning, break the cheap one. and
Basically,
then buy the good one when you know you're not going to
break the cheap one or have someone to teach you how to use the good one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's why you teach how to drive standard in like a Civic and not a much more expensive car.
You don't immediately go to the Porsche.
That's a good one.
So have you guys all
That's
filled
if
out
you
the
have
brick
access.
survey? I assume you all have.
No,
I have not.
Oh my goodness.
you
I'm
I'm
have
the first
completely
person to
new to
respond
bricks.
to the server.
I'm not familiar with it at all.
Okay,
give us
so
some context too.
okay, so Paul, you mentioned Simco Lab. So
Mhm.
that was a group that was started before I even lived in, well, maybe not before I lived in Barrie, but years ago. And I've always been the tinkering type, maker type. So when I came to Barrie, I eventually started looking for makerspace-y type stuff, and I found Simco Lab, and they were a group that was meeting like once a week in the basement of a building down near 5 Points.
Mhm.
So, you know, very small basement of a 150, 200-year-old building. You know, we had some tools, but not much. You know, it just was a very small group, and it never, you know, got a lot of traction, a little bit of attrition. So it was, you know, maybe 5, 6, 7 people at most any one night. So some of us eventually decided that, you know, a makerspace would be great. So to make a kind of long story short, we created a corporation for Simco Lab to try and get that ball rolling. We did a few things towards that that goal. We did, you know, like workshops with like a wearable T-shirt, like electronics thing with McLaren Art Center and stuff like that. And then it exploded when the creative economy department that now doesn't exist in the city of Barrie, there was a big push towards this makerspace thing, and then also the Barrie Woodshop group got involved with us. So we basically switched the corporation's name from Simco Lab to Bricks after, you know, we had a bunch of meetings and stuff like that. And so since, like, it's been a couple of years now, we've had Bricks going, that we've been working on trying to, and of course COVID threw a wrench into everything. But yeah, we're currently now trying to find a location. I mean, we kind of have been all this time, but it's kind of funny. When COVID hit, we were a week away from giving a presentation to City Council after we had already been through a vote and had a tie. And so they said, hey, well, maybe we should have a meeting because none of these councilors know what a makerspace is until I give a deposition in City Hall. So yeah, we were a week away from giving that presentation, and then, you know, everything just shut down. So we're trying to get the ball rolling. And one of the things that we're trying to do is we have this survey that we're trying to kind of like gauge the interest of the people in the community, what kind of things they want to do, what they're willing to pay, what kind of services they want, where do they live, all that kind of stuff. And so the Facebook group is facebook.com/madeinbarrie, and the survey's at the top. So basically we're going to use that data to work on business plan, financial planning type of stuff. And hopefully we can hit the ground running when COVID starts to ease up.
So it's not just Arduino then.
No, it's everything. Wood shop, metal shop, 3D printing, knitting, everything we can fit in it.
Okay.
And it basically is just going to grow organically
Mm-hmm.
based on what
people
the
want
membership.
and yeah.
Because one of the big things in the survey is like, what do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Woodworking, 3D printing, and I'm actually, can I share my screen? I probably can. Let me see. Where is the Zoom meeting now? The Zoom meeting is
sorry, is that the link you just gave me, Chris?
Yeah, I threw in the Google Docs link for the public
survey.
interest survey.
Yeah. So if I share my screen and I pick the screen with the thing on it, this one, cool. So
wow.
these are the results. Oh wait, I moved it. So these are the results so far, and you can see that woodworking with hand and power tools are really up there, and then comes 3D printing, and then it's like textiles, visual arts, pottery is a big one. So, you know, we want to grow organically, and you know, we've talked a lot with the people in Newmarket, which is called New Make It, and one of the big things they said is like, don't just buy tools willy-nilly. You have to like super plan, get something that is actually going to get used, buy the membership, and is, you know, kind of have to think of it as a business, like what's going to actually bring in money, like bring in more members or be able to use for workshops or whatever it is. So they have a CNC machine that they wish they hadn't bought, which there's a story behind that apparently. So yeah.
They could give it to us.
Yeah, well, the thing is we need a space we can fit it in. So,
yeah.
So you were saying you were kind of brainstorming there in the Discord channel. So you're thinking maybe not have a permanent location, but able to have workshops at different locations?
Well, I'm thinking that I can just, like, we would have the workshops at the location when we finally get one, but I'm thinking that we don't necessarily have to wait for the location to do the workshops, because the workshops will have various benefits that we would get from having it at the location too, without having to have a permanent location. Like
I was going to say, because you definitely would need to have a permanent location when it gets into stuff like the woodworking, just because of all the like safety equipment,
Yep.
All that sort of stuff. You definitely need a physical location for that.
Yeah.
But until they get that sorted out, they could still do workshops. Not
like I can do 3D printing and Arduino stuff pretty easily. We can do hand tool stuff.
Yeah.
I think they did a build a birdhouse one at the library with hand tools for, like, teenagers and 10-year-olds type of thing. So there are ways to do some stuff, and of course, we're going to explore what's possible and what isn't possible. But I'm thinking we don't necessarily need to wait for the permanent location to do in-person workshops. We can do online ones too, which is something I hadn't actually thought of until you guys had proposed this meeting. So
yeah, you know what? We'll be more than happy to plug you. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but Chris, he used to run he used to run tech meetups, North OT. Emily's right. And it was starting to get quite a bit of traction and quite a bit of buzz. So yeah, if we can connect these communities all together, I mean, Barrie's a small city, more or less.
Well, it's big enough. I mean,
It's big enough.
Guelph has one, Kitchener has one,
Mhm.
Newmarket has one. And the thing about
kind of
Barrie that I
middle
see
of
is that
everything.
we have kind of what I would call a large catchment area.
Mhm.
Like Guelph is kind of that kind of way too. Like there's a lot of countryside and a lot of, I think it's more up here though. There's a lot of people like north, east, and west of us that are like, I don't know what really you would call it, but like do-it-yourselfer type of people, like people who have like shops in their backyard or like to work on things themselves, or that kind of thing. So I could be wrong, but like more than Newmarket. Newmarket is surrounded by cities on all sides. They don't really have it's more of an urban culture, right? We have more of a rural culture of people who like to do things themselves and work on stuff. And
what's
that sort of thing.
what's your website? The bricks.
It's
Well, it's just the Facebook
bricks.work.
group right now. It's
Okay.
bricks.work, but we're not doing much with it right now.
I think the
We're
last
actually
post was last March.
we're actually
Website.
we're actually making a new one. That I don't think that's been updated in a long time, but yeah, we're making a new one. One of the things I want to do for the workshops is rather than have like a workshop, like say, okay, we're going to do a workshop on March 5th, and then wait for a bunch of people to sign up for it, and then maybe not have enough people to make it worth it. What I want to kind of do is have kind of like a supply demand sort of thing, where it's like where someone proposes a workshop and then people say, okay, I want to do that when it's finally ready, and then when you get enough people, then you do the poll thing where everybody figures out when they can go, and then you do it on a date that everybody who wants to go can go. So you don't have any of these kinds of things where you just say, I'm going to have this workshop, and then the 2 people show up.
Yeah.
Brian's
Might take a
question
little
for you.
longer, but-
What's the typical like age group that you guys are kind of targeting for bricks work?
I would say there probably isn't one. It's
Okay.
all of them.
From what I've
because
seen,
like this gardening that I
Do you have
saw
like a
is
minimum age though? I just asked because something that I was thinking is I'm sure that there would probably be a good market for the woodworking stuff, especially with like high school people looking to get into like trade work, especially with like Georgian College in Midland. There's a lot of stuff up there.
Really, it's just going to go down to like that threshold where someone is too young to be able to just be around bigger equipment safely, but they could still do a lot of the littler electronics and that kind of thing. So it's workshops, you could start at like 5 years old, right?
yeah, one of the mini workshops. Yeah, we could do that type of thing.
So it all depends on really all of everything about the makerspaces. It's all what about the demand is for. So if the demand is there for 5-year-olds to do Mindstorms, then we'll do it.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll take a little bit longer to get to the younger crowds because you kind of have to figure out how to get to the parents first.
No. You just market it as a day camp. Do it during the summer. Like parents will go
Oh, yeah, true.
bonkers over that, and they just want to give up their kids.
I did a
They're like,
science. I
"Please
did a
take off."
science camp once for like a day science camp. And it was
Yeah.
kind of cool. So
That'd be exciting.
But
All right,
yeah, in this
guys.
case of just a quick thing for me, sorry, is just in Bricks from what I've seen, it's a little bit older, at least in the Discord and like people who showed up to the one meeting I went to.
Uh-huh.
But I'm in high school right now, and when I get around to it, I'm going to be making a poster that I'm going to spread around the school.
Nice.
At least we have a woodshop class. We have like
Which high school are
we
you
have-
at, Josh?
I'm at Innisdale, so we have woodshop, we have metal shop, construction. We have people who do Arduino, computer building.
That's
I've done
awesome.
3D printing. I've seen
That's
there's
way more than
video
when I was in
editing.
high school. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's video editing, filmmaking, news
Yeah.
making,
I
newscast,
didn't
everything,
have any of that. Jeez,
music, everything. So if I advertise it in the right way, then I'll at least get a wide range of people to do the survey
yeah,
and see if they're willing.
It's dope.
definitely.
Hey Brian, how does one find access to this Discord?
You ask me.
All right, can I have it?
So I'll make a invite right now.
Okay,
An
cool.
invite link.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Here.
there wasn't anything in like the description of the Made in Barrie Facebook group. That's just why I asked.
Yeah, we haven't really made it public. We don't want like just to have a public flood in yet, but we are
Yeah.
planning on having something like this in the future, because obviously we want the community to be able to communicate. Except the woodshop group is part of this, and their floor age is like 60, so a lot of them are not going to have anything to do with this. But like they have an existing group, and let me do this link before.
Before you get sidetracked.
Yeah.
Before I talk myself out.
That's where you kind of have Discord and like Facebook going. So because Facebook can have group chats and at least groups and stuff, so people can chat through that too. Because I know plenty of kids my age, which for reference I'm in grade 12, who don't have Facebook or won't even get it.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah,
used to.
Facebook is trash. So I don't disagree with it. I
No,
mean, I have
I've
it.
had it for a while, but
Your generation is more TikTok, right?
you don't want to be marketing woodshop to TikTok.
Why not? Oh man, hold on. You are severely misunderstood if you
Well,
think
no,
TikTok
I know there's
cannot
plenty
be a
of people
woodworking
on
platform.
TikTok, but it's like you're not gonna really have
No,
the
you
ability
gotta
to
look
chat
up,
through and stuff.
Oh, what's it? Let me double check his name. If anyone is
watched
not familiar with
multiple-
this,
I watch
Well,
multiple
I feel like we're
woodshop
getting
people on
sidetracked here.
TikTok.
yes.
Bring us back, Paul. We're on to
Listen.
TikTok.
Listen, Brian, put the link in there, and everyone sign up for the Discord. And we have
Yeah, I've been on
Roger
Discord for a while.
Wakefield. I gotta check out now too. I recorded this meeting so I can share it with your gang there, Brian. For those that couldn't make it this evening, and I can post on our YouTube channel that we have growing.
Cool.
But yeah, thanks again for stepping up. Excuse me, for Friday. I'm gonna let everyone go. I gotta race home to clean up my dog's mess.
You're not at home? You're not at home now?
I visited my family for the first time
Oh.
since ever. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm in such a pretty room. Usually I'm in
It's such a pretty room.
the basement.
Yeah, I gotta get going too.
Okay.
My wife
I think-
is gonna get angry at me. So
Yeah. Thanks everybody for coming and putting your 2 cents in. And
Yeah. I just popped in because I was curious what was going on.
yeah, no, it's
You didn't really explain it very much. I was just like, what's this? Hence why I popped in with no mic, no video.
no, it's
That's
good.
okay.
Thank you for joining us, Josh. And,
So I'll see you guys on this Friday, actually.
this
Yeah.
Friday.
And I'll
All
talk to
right.
you on the Discord.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
See you guys.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.